Hi, my name's Anita England. I'm a paediatric diabetes clinical nurse specialist, and this is Gemma Burley, our dietitian. I would just like to really say that it's a privilege for us to work in Cornwall. We think it's our families that we've got to congratulate, really, because we're hoping that we can give them the autonomy to be able to achieve the best outcomes for their children. And we've also got a really fantastic charitable service that helps us called SCID, and they do lots of things for our children so that we can go out and do lots of positive activities that we can all join in and show that diabetes doesn't really put you back.
Okay, so this is us. This is our first annual camping weekend away, just staff, not patients. We pack up our families, pack up our dogs, go to a campsite and spend the weekend making memories as friends rather than colleagues. Really, really great idea. We're now on year 3 and it's fabulous. We've got 2 lovely consultants, Katie and Simon. We've got 5 nurses in total. That's 3.6.
Have we? 4? Oh, we have got 5. We have got 5, apologies.
She's forgotten about herself. 3.6 whole-time equivalent. Dietetic team, there's 3 of us on there. 1 very, very amazing data coordinator and psychology post, which is currently vacant. This is our patch. So we've currently got just over 200 children and young people under our care. We are based in Truro, which is kind of central Cornwall, but we have satellite clinics in 7 locations across the county, including the Isles of Scilly, which is over here. So we have to fly to get to that clinic. Simon, our consultant, loves it, absolutely loves it. Anita and I hate it.
Awful.
It's like a paper aeroplane, but it's amazing once you get over there. One thing just to note is that during the summer months, our population in Cornwall increases by around 200,000 people. So we do see increased activity at those times with holidaymakers. So we've asked to, I really hope this works now, we were asked to come and talk about our achievements. So rather than stand here and list them out to you, we've made a little bit of a video which will show our achievements but also give you a bit of a sense of the team that we are, because that's fundamentally the thing that gets us our results.
Pressure. Gem.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, 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 come on. Ooh, it's something magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on. I don't need no reason, don't need control. I fly so high, no ceiling when I'm in my zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel the good, good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. Come on, all those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling, so just dance, dance, dance.
We thought it might have been a bit cheesy, but that's...
So as from 2013, our HbA1c was 67.5. It was better than the England and Wales national average, but we did want to improve it all. Year on year, we have had an improvement, and 2017-18, we have actually come down to 59. Now, we think this probably is due to our high expectations. We do expect our families to download their meters, pumps, CGM, and we will contact them and say, come on, we need to see a download. What's going on? So I think downloading is really important. In 2015, we got the positive outlier status, and we were also a positive outlier at 16-17, but it wasn't analysed then, which was disappointing, really. But otherwise, we would have been, I think. And again, we're a positive outlier 17-18. Whether 18-19 will be as good, we don't know, really, because we have our concerns with some of our children using Libre and MDI without using their expert meters. So it will be interesting to see then.
So, talking about how we achieve these results, the first thing to talk about is really just our clinic stuff and our fundamentals. We do have consistency across the team, very good local national guidelines, and best practice tariff criteria to follow. We have very approachable consultants. You know, we are very equal in our team, and that is fantastic. We've got a culture of being open and respectfully challenging, so we are not afraid to pull someone up if we think that we're thinking along the different lines, and to explore that without fear. We are a little bit pirate in that we are not afraid of change. We're not afraid to try things out, to look at what's not working. We're adaptable, and we do have the involvement in the local charity. And then outside of the clinic, we have our specialities, and we do things slightly differently. So Anita's going to talk about some of the nursing bits, and then I'll talk about the dietetics afterwards.
So with nursing, I'm a bit of an old dragon. I've been doing it a long time. We do virtual clinics, and that means to say that the downloads happen. We will just look at them anytime, anywhere. We don't expect a certain clinic day that you've got to download. We'll just keep looking at people's and giving them tools so that they can then make changes themselves. And that's really important, that we give the families tools to empower them to make, you know, their own ownership. We do have frequent contacts. We do school visits, and we do definitely do more than 8 contacts in a year. How anybody can do just 8 contacts a year is unbelievable, really. Probably we do 20 odd contacts, and we also do school visits so that we see them without the parents, which is quite nice, actually. We've got a really good relationship with our families, and we are open and very much that they can say anything to us, really. We've got a good knowledge of family dynamics, and we know when people, you know, and they're quite open and honest with us. We do our annual reviews, all the nurses take blood, we do foot checks, so things like that we can do with their annual reviews, so we can do all the 7 care processes. And our dedicated time for annual reviews, we don't expect to do that within an MDT clinic. That is an extra clinic. And it's just a really holistic view on how we look after our families. I have a really good knowledge of caseload, so as I say, I've got an old red book that I look at everybody's. Unfortunately, we haven't got Twinkle or Diamond. We've got an old spreadsheet, so I look at everybody's caseload and keep checking them every 3 months to make sure that things are up to date, that they've done the contacts, that they have done the annual bloods, that they've done the wheeze and things. And I also do a nursing notes audit to make sure that everything complies with information governance. And as part of our annual review, we use the Novo Nordisk Goals of Education, which I think are really good. But we are starting to use DEEP, which we've done the training and we're starting it in January. And we've got an absolutely fab data coordinator who, if you don't know something about an Excel spreadsheet, she knows everything.
Okay, so dietetics. If you put dietitian into Google, these are the images that come up. So that's not what I look like. When I started this role 7 years ago, I almost felt like the families were a bit scared to come and see me. So the children thought I was going to make them eat fruits and vegetables. The parents were concerned that I was going to criticise their parenting skills. When I started, I was a little bit frustrated sitting in the MDT clinic because by the time the families came to see me to do some individual work, they just wanted to go home. They didn't want to be there. My role, I see, is an educator, and it's my aim to empower families to self-care rather than give them specific advice at one time. So the clinic, it wasn't the best learning environment for me. So when I came back from one of my maternity leaves, we thought we'd have a bit of a shake-up of how we use our staff. And I converted some of my hours into some Band 3 dietetic assistant hours and a small amount of Band 5 hours. So now our dietetic assistant, she comes to all the MDT clinics, but she does the healthy, balanced diet work. In a really fun way. Health promotion reaches the whole family because it is a really important part, but that frees my time up to do some more specialist things. So myself and our other dietitian, Jo, we split our time between doing groups and one-to-ones. We did find that for a lot of our teenage patients, and young people, I was having a lot of missed appointments. They didn't want to come and see me in clinic or a clinical environment, so we decided to go to them instead. So now we run group sessions in schools, very laid back, very chilled out, encourages peer support. We base it on the goals of education by Novo and DEAP, and it's been received really, really well. For the younger families, younger children, we do indoor picnics, so that's really fun-based. They come, we play games, we do some colouring. Rufus the bear has a picnic, and then we all eat together afterwards. And on the cards, I'm going to start doing some exercise for health groups as well. One-to-one, I run an exercise clinic with one of the nurses. So we're really passionate about encouraging our young people to continue in high-level sports and not let diabetes hold them back. But we found that you can't cover that in an MDT clinic. So we do run an exercise clinic. And then there's that time to do any other individual work that we need to. In red, I've kind of our advanced management. Now that is in red at the moment because there is some unmet needs. So we do advanced carb counting groups, but we are struggling to keep up with the education that's needed to, for the current and emerging technology. But we've got lots of ideas, and it's exciting for the future. But again, like we said earlier, we need to think about the way that we're using our staff, and is that the best way?
So the challenges, I think, like everything, is the technology. And I think a lot of families have very high expectations. They want the top tech. And sometimes it's trying to fight, the procurement and how you get these things into the trust, really. Transition is a huge thing, and we are working with the Transformational Board. Psychology, we've had a real hard retention of staff, and we've had quite a lot of throughput, but we're hoping that we've now made the psychology post at a higher banding, and we may be able to retain them then. We do have rurality, poverty and deprivation, quite a lot of, and we do have the geographical area is huge to try and get round. Holiday makers, they often think, oh, they're feeling a little bit poorly, let's go down to Cornwall, and then we get the newly diagnosed in, which are normally quite poorly. The other one is type 2 diabetes. It's really quite difficult. Type 1 is, at least it's easier, whereas type 2, you've got to educate the families, and they've got to have a full change of their lifestyle, really. And we do have quite a lot of safeguarding issues. Updating guidelines. We don't have diamond or twinkle, so everything's paper still. And it's really time to do all the above, really. And that's Cornwall. Thank you.